Imagine being constantly ignored by your family, your wishes never granted. But then, a chance arises to switch to a parallel world where everything seems perfect. Would you accept the offer? But beware, for not everything is as it seems. Meet Coraline, a curious 9-year-old girl who loves exploring to beat her boredom. Recently, she moved to a new town with her family and settled into the Pink Palace apartment. While wandering around, she encounters YB, the son of her landlord, who shares her wild imagination. YB shows Coraline a secret well that may belong to a witch and warns her about a poisonous oak bush. Back at home, Coraline seeks her mother's attention after a dangerous incident, but her mother dismisses her concerns. Feeling ignored, she opens a package from YB, containing a stuffed doll that eerily resembles her. She tries to talk to her father, but he's preoccupied with his writing. Left with little company, Coraline is tasked with counting doors and windows, leading her to discover a suspicious hidden door behind the living room wallpaper. Her request to open it is met with disappointment, as it leads to a mere brick wall. At dinner, Coraline asks her mother to cook for her, but she claims to be too busy. She ends up eating her father's tasteless cooking and retires to bed. But the night is disturbed by a jumping mouse, leading her to a portal behind the little door. Excitedly, she enters, only to find an alternate version of her home with a delightful aroma coming from the kitchen. Her mother, however, has button eyes, and she introduces herself as Coraline's other mother along with her button-eyed father. They serve her the most amazing meal she has ever had and attend to her hand with care. Coraline falls asleep in a beautifully decorated room, only to wake up the next morning back in her old reality. Coraline assumes it was all just a dream and attempts to share her experiences with her busy parents, who brush her off and send her to talk with the neighbors. At Babinski's doorstep, she finds some mail belonging to him. Babinski, who owns numerous pet mice, claims they are quite bright and have advised her to stay away from the little door. Ignoring the warning, Coraline visits the ladies living in the basement, April and Miriam, former actresses with the ability to foresee the future through teacups. Feeling uneasy, she rushes outside. There, she meets YB and asks about the stuffed doll, but he claims to have found it in her grandmother's trunk. YB explains that he can't stay near the Pink Palace for long as his grandmother forbids it due to something that should be kept away from kids. This piques Coraline's curiosity further, and she leaves a piece of cheese in her room before going to bed. The sound of jumping mice wakes her in the middle of the night, leading her through the little door to the other mother, who is delighted to see her again. Coraline then visits her other father, an expert gardener with a garden specially shaped like her face. They enjoy dinner, and the other mother informs Coraline about an invitation from the other Babinski and another YB, who doesn't talk as much as the real YB. Together, they visit Babinski's apartment to witness the jumping mouse circus, which Coraline finds unbelievably fantastic. The other parents bid Coraline goodnight, and she goes to sleep. The next day, Coraline checks the cheese and rushes to the little door, only to find it locked by her mother. Coraline goes with her mother to buy uniforms for school, but when she asks for colored gloves, her mother refuses. Back home, Coraline knows her parents will never fulfill her wishes. With her mother out buying groceries, Coraline searches for the door key, manages to retrieve it, and opens the door to find that everything was real, not a dream. She happily steps into her other home, where she finds a gift box left by her other mother. Coraline finds herself in possession of a knitted suit and an invitation to a mysterious theater show. Excited, she quickly heads to the basement, where she encounters YB's talking cat, warning her of potential danger. Ignoring the warning, Coraline enters her neighbor's transformed theater, where she watches a captivating performance by April and Miriam. She even becomes a part of the show and receives applause from the audience. Returning home with her other parents, Coraline is given another gift box containing buttons and sewing material. The eerie request to sew the buttons onto her eyes to stay with them forever frightens Coraline. She barricades her room and tries to sleep, hoping to wake up back in her real world. However, when she wakes up, she realizes she's still trapped in the parallel world. Determined to escape, Coraline seeks help from the other father, who confesses he's a puppet controlled by the other mother, Beldam. In a fit of anger, Coraline confronts Beldam, who throws her into a dark room filled with ghostly children trapped like her. The children plead for her to find their hidden real eyes to set them free. Before Coraline can respond, the other YB intervenes, explaining that the puppets are under Beldam's control, just like he was. He helps her get to the little door and urges her to leave before Beldam returns. Finally, Coraline manages to escape and returns to her house. YB comes looking for the stuffed doll, revealing it belonged to her lost twin sister. Coraline tries to explain everything she experienced, but YB dismisses her as crazy. Alone in her house at night, Coraline finds a valuable crystal gifted by April and seeks her parents. But with no luck, she finds solace between the pillows in their room, hoping to wake up from this surreal nightmare. Coraline is awakened by YB's cat, who gives her a hint about her parents being kidnapped by the other mother. Determined to rescue them, Coraline must return to the other world. The cat suggests that Coraline challenge the other mother to a game. If Coraline succeeds in finding the ghost eyes, the other mother must release all trapped souls, including her parents. However, if she fails, Coraline will have to stay with the other mother forever. The game begins, and Coraline uses April's crystal to spot the ghost eyes. She retrieves one from the other father's card but narrowly escapes his attack. In the basement, the dogs have transformed into bats and performers into candy monsters. Coraline cleverly obtains another ghost eye from the wrapper. Next, she visits the other Babinski, but the last ghost eye is taken by a swarm of rats. Almost losing hope, YB's cat brings her the eye just in time. As the other world disintegrates, Coraline must hurry to find her parents. She devises a plan and tricks Beldam into opening the little door, revealing her parents trapped inside a globe. Coraline throws the cat at Beldam's face, blinding her and causing the house to collapse into a web. She locks the door with the help of the ghost kids and returns to her real world. Her parents are back, oblivious to what happened, and have good news for Coraline. Their catalog got published, and they are throwing a party, even surprising her with her favorite gloves. The cat pays her one last visit, and Coraline puts the ghost eyes under her pillow to free the trapped souls. YB helps her get rid of the door key and Beldam's metal hand that followed her to the real world. They successfully lock away the evil in the well. Everything returns to normal, and life is better than before. However, the true identity of the intelligent cat remains a mystery. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting movies.